Hello everyone. Today, I'll be presenting findings from my analysis of the LAPD 2024 crimes data, covering the dataset, how I analyzed it, my findings, and what they can tell us. First, let's cover the question. What is it that we are trying to understand? Well, the main problem that we can solve with this data is what is the status of law enforcement in LA. While this can mean a variety of things, in this context, we aim to understand and evaluate how effective the LAPD has been in preventing crimes, as well as how effective they are in recording crimes. On screen, you can see some of the ways that we will answer this question. But there is still one more thing we need to consider before analyzing the data. Is it reliable? There are three factors to consider. The data is from a trusted source, an official US government website. It provides recent information, just from last year, and it was published directly by the original author. All in all, we can say that this data is accurate and reliable. Now that's enough about the overall data. How have I analyzed it? Well, I used two main methods. First, I extracted required fields into a pivot table, from which I created a series of graphs. They allowed me to easily see the trends within the data. I also created smaller tables and used formulas to extract data from the main table, allowing us to provide broader information about the data that is useful for summary information. Now, let's get into the findings. The first and most immediate trend that we can see is a decrease in crimes over time. Historically, this has been a constant trend for the year 2024, with little fluctuation or change. Similarly, we can see this trend when looking at the most recent data from December. Same downtrend, however, much more erratic behavior, showing us that it isn't all just a downhill slope. Moving on, we can see that the LAPD often fails to properly record data, especially about victims of crimes, where up to 40% of their genders and ethnicities are simply unknown. However, this is not limited to victims, as we can also clearly see this with weapon types and ages. Finally, while not related as much to our question, we can see distinct hotspots of criminal activity when graphing data on a heat map. This information is useful when considering how law enforcement can improve for the future, showing us which areas that the LAPD should show extra care to. Now, before we end the presentation, I would like to briefly go through my data dashboard. There are three main sections of graphs. First, we have two line graphs, which allow us to see visual trends relating to crime rates. Then, we have a series of charts relating to victims, telling us about the distribution of ages, ethnicities, and gender. Finally, we have a heat map, allowing us to see the distribution of crimes geographically. KPIs such as maximums and averages are listed, providing overall information. And the dashboard is also interactive. Users can filter graph data through the use of slicers and see distinct specific data. That is the end of my presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again.